Welcome to the Gym and Tonic Podcast. I'm your host, Shanae Kunsa from SK Bodyworks, and this is a space where self-development meets holistic health. This podcast will help you create transformation from the inside out, blending all things mindset, healing, habits, energetics, spirituality, health, fitness, and nutrition. And through these episodes, I'm going to help you activate your highest self and create a life that feels as good as it looks, mixed in with some laughs, a few F-bombs, and a whole lot of truths that your soul has been craving to help you evolve, expand, and align with your highest potential. So let's dive in and step into your next evolution. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to episode 30 on the Gym and Tonic podcast. I am so excited for today's episode because I am sharing something big. And if you're already listening to this, which you obviously are, you would have seen the episode title. So we're going to speak into that today, but that isn't all that I'm announcing. I've also got another big announcement, which I'll be letting you in on today's episode as well. So since July, I have been working on something behind the scenes, and honestly, I am so fucking excited to share this news. And they say come out of the spiritual closet. So I am a psychic, healer, and a medium. And on today's episode, I am going to be sharing with you my journey of how I stepped into this, my journey of, I guess, how it all came about, what it's looked like behind the scenes, what being a psychic, healer, and medium even means, and what it actually is, and I guess my vision for 2026 and beyond. And like I said, I'm also going to be letting you in on another big announcement too. So let's start with my story of becoming psychic. So growing up, I was always someone who was very spiritually curious. I was always super interested in, all things spirituality, even though I didn't really even know much or anything about it at all. Although growing up, I had a friend who was quite spiritual, which often made me, I guess, even more spiritually curious, right? However, there was actually no one else around me in my life that was, I guess, spiritual. My family definitely wasn't. So they weren't, and they still aren't. I actually told my mom and dad only just the other week, and Dad thinks I'm going crazy. Don't quite get it. But yeah, I was never that person who was always gifted or, a psychic or, speaking to past loved ones from a young age. I was not that person. And, in fact, I never in a million years thought that I would be psychic. Like, I thought that it would never be a possibility for me. Like, I always thought to myself, like, it would be pretty cool to be psychic and to do that kind of work and, the healing work and all that sort of thing. But I definitely didn't believe it was possible for me. But I guess my journey to that becoming a reality, after I hit extreme burnout in 2023, it really sent me down a path of self-discovery, of personal development, my own healing journey, and I slowly started to walk myself back home to myself, right? And this is what really led me down a spiritual path and my own spiritual journey, and I guess you could say spiritual awakening, right? Which unfolded for maybe about a year or so. And in 2024, I started feeling like a very strong pull to just all things spirituality and all these types of, holistic things, or I guess you could say, modalities, right? And I was even, getting and experiencing these type of things for myself as well. So I was getting, psychic readings done, Reiki, past life readings, all these different types of things. I was, getting them done and experiencing them for myself. And even like, if we just rewind for a minute, like in the past, from maybe about the age of like 18, I have actually gotten tarot card readings done, which I had done, probably from around roughly the age of 18. And I literally almost got them done every 2 years, almost on the dot, which was pretty crazy. From the same person. And I was always just like gobsmacked at how crazy accurate they were, and just like how literally everything that he had, said always unfolded. And since then, it's probably been 2.5, maybe 3 years since my last one with that particular tarot card reader. But rewinding back to where I was in 2024, I was just pulled to things like crystals, tarot cards, oracle cards, spirit guides, astrology, human design, channeling, psychics, energy healing, like literally just all the things. I was so pulled to it, and I was so interested in all of it. Like, I was listening to the podcasts, I was reading the books, I researched a lot about it, and I actually honestly learned a lot through that. And like, it almost felt like, I guess, like a little bit of a hobby that I did on the side that I really just loved and enjoyed, and it really just like lit me up. And then I really started to see like so many signs and synchronicities. Like, it was insane. I will never forget the first time I ever got Reiki, which was from a psychic. She told me that her spirit guides, this was after the Reiki, the energy healing was done. She was like telling me, my spirit guides are telling me that you need to do breath work. And it was so funny that when she told me that, I was like, oh my God, like I've really been wanting to try it. Like, I've just felt really pulled to it. I honestly didn't know much about it at the time, but I just really wanted to do it for some reason. I felt like called to do it, and I was seeing it like absolutely everybody, everywhere. Like, it was coming up on my Instagram feed, like the algorithm was like thrown in my face. Like, I was just seeing it everywhere, and I was like, I really want to try it. So then after that Reiki session, I was like, okay, thank you, universe, for another sign. And I may have actually told this story on the podcast before, but anyways, I'm going to tell it again. So then when I had my first ever breathwork session, after that, I, went ahead, found a breathwork practitioner, booked it in, did it, and it was crazy, like life changing. I cannot even put it into words. Like, I walked out of there feeling like I was floating on a cloud on like the biggest high ever. And mind you, I was like bawling my eyes out during the breath work. But it was just mind blowing. Like, I can't possibly put it into words if I tried. It's just something that you have to experience for yourself. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here, but in this first ever breathwork session, you're going to see what this has to do with it in a minute. In this first ever breathwork session I remember seeing this purple light, like just otherworldly, in my mind's eye. There was just lots of it, like just this purple light that I was seeing. I just hadn't experienced anything like it before. And I just felt like it felt really profound. And then the next day after the breathwork session, the first ever one that I did, I had actually stumbled into a crystal shop, and I bought a Healing Spirits Oracle card deck. And later that day, I pulled my first card from the deck, and the visual on the card, like the image that was on the card, literally looked like the exact same purple light that I had seen in my breathwork session the day before. And the message on the card had said, it was something like, the light within you can lead the way. And when I read that, I literally felt like I got full body goosebumps, and I just knew and felt that it meant something. Like, I didn't really know what, but I just had a strong knowing that I can't really quite explain. And then as I kept doing breath work, I started seeing more lights, I started seeing symbols, I started seeing visuals, and I had visions. I started having like more and more downloads and strong inner knowings through my breathwork journeys, and then even outside of that as I was, continuing to practice it. And just through this, I had the strong knowing that one day I would step into psychic and healing work. I even had downloads in breathwork sessions and literally heard that you are a psychic, you're a medium, you are a channel. And like at that point, I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, am I making this up? Like, it was just a little bit mind blowing. And there was just honestly a lot of things that kind of happened in between all of this. And I would also often know things without knowing how I knew. Like, I didn't have any logical reasoning of how I would know it, but I just knew. And I started believing that I was an empath, and I was really tuned into energies and other people's emotions. I also started having very vivid dreams. I even had a visitation from someone who had passed in my dreams, and was speaking to them in my dream. And I also had moments where, not actually while I was asleep and dreaming, but in real life, I had moments where I sensed spirit's presence. And there was just so many things. There was even deja vu moments, which was I was what the fuck? This has already happened. Somehow I had already knew that was going to happen, or I felt like I'd lived the experience before. There was just so many signs and synchronicities, and I was even asking for signs and getting the signs, the exact signs I was asking for. It just felt mind-blowing, to be honest. And through this whole journey, I started having a very strong knowing that this work is part of my soul's mission in this lifetime. And my intuition also started becoming, stronger and stronger. And, I really kept developing it. I really started to listen to it more and even tune into it more on a deeper level. And also really following my intuitive nudges and hits, and which I truly believe, on another note, I truly believe following your intuition will always bring you into alignment. And then, so then fast forward to the beginning of July this year. So July 2025. The same week that I had actually made the decision that I was stepping away from the gym and personal training after about 9.5 years, or was actually over 9.5 years, which also, by the way, made no logical sense. But my intuition was telling me to close the door, and I just knew I just had to. And I was just really feeling really pulled to do that and make that decision. So it was that same week that I made this decision and closed the door on the gym and personal training, that side of my business. I had another door open for me, which wasn't exactly expected, but I truly just feel like it was the universe realigning me. And I had actually won a partial scholarship for a 6-month psychic traineeship. And I will not forget the moment when I seen the email that I had won this partial scholarship. It was a Sunday night. I was just about to jump in the bath. I was turning my phone on do not disturb, and it came through, and I will just never forget the feeling. I was so fucking excited. Every single cell and bone and everything in my entire body was just yes, my intuition was screaming at me to do it. And I just knew by my reaction and how I felt, and just how excited I was that it was the right choice. And obviously it's something that I had applied for as well, which I'll come back to in a second. But yeah, financially at the time, it really did not make sense. I didn't even know how I was going to make it work. But honestly, I just said yes, and I have made it work because I knew that my intuition was screaming, saying, yes, do it. And after I said yes, I literally ended up starting that week. And it just felt like it all happened so quickly. But like deep down, I know that it was like divinely orchestrated, and that my intuition telling me to leave the gym was creating space for something else even better and more aligned with who I'm becoming to actually be able to arrive. And like, I truly do feel like it was like closing one door so that the other door could open, and creating space for this door to open, right? And this work is and was something that I was so interested in, obviously after kind of the journey that I just told you about, after I hit burnout, and that really my self-discovery journey and healing journey really leading me into a spiritual path. It was something that I even had on my vision board. Like, it was something that I knew that I wanted to do one day, but like, truthfully, I didn't think it would arrive this quickly. But it has been such a blessing. So I have been doing this psychic traineeship behind the scenes since July. So every Thursday I have been and am on Zoom for 4.5 hours in class, learning and practicing with other people in the container who are from all over the world. I've made some amazing connections, and alongside this, I've been completing the online trainings and modules that are required outside of that. And then on top of this, almost every single week since then, I have been doing practice sessions outside of class with other people in the class. And honestly, like, Thursdays, like in class, and these practice sessions outside of class have been like the highlight of my week. I've just deeply enjoyed it like so much, and I'm just so excited to be able to bring this work to my clients and to my community, which I'll talk more about what that will look like shortly. But before I do, something that I would like to address, because I've already had someone say to me when I told them that I was doing this, they were like, oh my God, like, I didn't even know this was something that you could like learn. Like, I thought psychic people were just psychic. But the truth is, like, this is the deepest form of self-trust you will ever build. And it's building the muscle on your intuition so deeply and tapping into, subtle energy and really the unseen realms. And, anyone can actually be psychic. Obviously, there are people that do have, natural gifts more than others, so it comes a lot more natural to them. But it's also like someone doing an apprenticeship, right? Like, maybe from a young age, let's use the example of hair, right? Maybe they know from a young age, like growing up, they loved hair. They just were really good with all things hair. So, they've got a natural skill, gift, or talent for hairstyling, cutting hair, just all things hair, right? But if they wanted to develop that further and become great at it, they need to learn it, refine it, and practice it, right? And that is exactly the same as, being psychic, healing work, and mediumship work. Like, through the last 4.5 months of dedicating myself to this work, I have honestly really surprised myself. But it's almost felt like a remembering, like I've definitely done this work in past lives before. And I truly think that it was, like I said before, almost like divinely orchestrated. Like, my journey has led me to this point for a reason. And I do really feel strongly that it is, a part of my soul mission. And I know that for a fact from, many practice sessions with other psychics and Akashic Records readings and all those sorts of things. And something that I also want to be super clear on is I will not be stepping into this work until the first or possibly second quarter of 2026. So I finish my traineeship in February next year. So following that, I'll slowly roll out my offerings. So to give you a little bit of a insight into what that'll look like, I'll be certified in psychic readings, psychic healings, and Akashic Record readings. And I'll even give you like, I guess like a little bit of an overview of what each of these are so you can have that understanding, because I feel like, you know, maybe if you're already into like all things spirituality, maybe you already know, maybe you've had these things done to you before, or maybe you're like new here and you're like, I have no idea what this is, but it sounds cool. Tell me more. So let's start with psychic readings. Like, I'm sure you're probably already aware of what a psychic reading is. I feel like that's probably one of the most common ones. But it's essentially an energetic conversation where I guess, psychic practitioner tunes into your energy and your spirit guides and the unseen to really reflect back to you, you know, insights, truths, and guidance. And it's really about awareness and like helping you see what's ready to shift and really empowering you to take aligned action, right? So it's not just, you know, predicting the future or timelines. It's reading the energy that's present and giving you the likely outcomes. So a psychic reading is not a prediction set in stone, because energy can change and things can shift. And sometimes a reading can actually be the catalyst for change. Or even like for me in the past, you know, psychics have seen and held the vision of what's possible for me, which is, I feel like, so powerful, because it's, you know, even on my journey, it's allowed me to hold myself to a higher standard and feel motivated and inspired for that reality and like what's possible, right? And so that's kind of like, I guess, like a psychic reading in an overview. A psychic healing, on the other hand, is a little bit different. So it works with energy to really, I guess, release blocks, clear stuck emotions, and really just reconnect you to your natural state of flow. Like, it's not just about removing what's in the way. It's also about bringing deep awareness to why it's there in the first place, so that you can actually up level and integrate the shift, right? And true healing is about remembering your wholeness, right? And psychic healing facilitates that at the deepest level. You can almost think of it like, psychic healings as Reiki on steroids, because psychic healing, Reiki is a form of energy healing, but psychic healing is not just moving, clearing, or manipulating energy blocks. It's actually giving you the awareness with it to what's there and exactly why it's there, right? So that's the difference between readings and psychic healings. And then Akashic Record readings. So if you haven't heard of the Akashic Records before, you can almost think of it like an energetic library, right? It holds the blueprint for everyone's soul across this lifetime and every single lifetime, right? It's like the archive of every single past life, every single experience, every single lesson you've been through, and even all potential across like all time and space. So being able to, like in a Akashic Records readings, being able to access the records like offers clarity, it offers understanding, healing, and it really helps you navigate your current life with greater wisdom, right? So it's seeing what current life lessons that you are, you know, moving through and how you can move through them with greater ease. It's also, you know, bringing, like, there's so many things that you could do in this type of reading, but I'm just giving you a bit of an overview of what it could kind of include, right? It's also bringing awareness to things like karmic ties and imprints, like karmic imprints from past lives, which you're still carrying or holding on to at a soul level in this lifetime. It's also getting, you know, clarity around your soul's purpose and what you reincarnated in this lifetime to do. So those are some things that I guess that's kind of what an Akashic Record reading could look like. And in the traineeship that I'm doing, I'm not actually learning mediumship. So for those that don't know what this is, in the simplest way possible, it's speaking to dead people, or let's say past loved ones. So I won't be offering this for a little while as I'm needing to develop it further. But through my journey in this psychic container and just my journey as a whole, I have really had like multiple occasions where I've connected with past loved ones. It's been a really interesting gift to develop, and I've apparently been doing it for a very long time without even realizing it, and I'm starting to realize that even more now. And there's been some really profound experiences that I've had with it. Which is maybe something that I'll share at a later time. But I just wanted to really make it clear that I won't be offering mediumship readings until I feel ready and have developed my mediumship abilities further. So just know that that'll be something that will come a little bit later. So yeah, let's talk about, I guess, like my vision for this work. So obviously, if you can't tell through my voice, like I'm so fucking excited for this next chapter and this next evolution. Like I cannot wait. I am so excited to finally announce it because I feel like I've been like containing this excitement within me. So I'm so excited to be able to officially be able to really announce it. So the vision that I have for this work is actually to not step fully into this work alone. It is going to like supplement the work that I'm already doing. And although in saying that, to begin with, it will look like offering psychic readings, psychic healings, Akashic record readings. But my longer term goal is to develop a framework with my spirit team through also experience with clients to essentially incorporate into the mindset work that I'm doing with clients. So to give you a bit of an understanding of kind of like what that'll look like, I like a little bit of a brief overview because I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. But basically I will be able to work with enter my client's energy fields to be able to, manipulate energy, locate stuck energy, block stuck emotions, and really kind of like identify exactly what it is that's holding them back, their subconscious blocks, their limiting beliefs, and essentially what they need to work on at this point in their journey, right? And then to be able to work with them in a coaching capacity in order to actually heal that, to actually transcend what's been holding them back and into their highest timeline and, the best version of themselves. Like this alone will literally bypass like 2 or even for some people like 3 coaching sessions to get to the exact root and then, coach them to heal it and change their life. So that is kind of the vision, and I am so excited to be able to see it all slowly come together. And it will, I feel, just create such profound transformations in my clients' worlds. Like it's just insane. I feel like I could talk like for 10 hours. Like I've got so many words wanting to come out right now, but I'm just like, okay, speak English, Shanae. But yeah, so that is kind of like the vision. I really can't wait to see all the pieces of the puzzle come together. And so I did say that there was going to be another announcement in today's episode, and this next announcement is something that I decided to do at the end of October. So more recently, it was something that I was actually looking at doing before I won the partial scholarship for the psychic traineeship. But at that point, because I did that, I had to put this on hold. But I just had such a strong knowing and pull towards it. Like then, and even like more so it's popped up again recently, like it was coming up in my readings. Spirit kept telling me to just do it, to take the leap, to go for it. My intuition was loud, and honestly, like I was worried about like how I was going to make it work, but Spirit was telling me to just do it. So I made the decision, I backed myself, and I'm trusting that it will all work out exactly as it's supposed to. And I feel like over my journey, I've taken so many risks. Risks? Is that how you say it? Risks. Yeah, so many risks. But I truly know that they are going to compound, and I'm so excited. But yeah, so I made that decision, and that thing is, I invested in my breathwork instructor course. So to become a qualified breathwork facilitator. And I've already obviously spoken about my journey with breathwork today and also in a past episode as well, and how it's been immensely transformative on my own journey, my healing journey, walking myself back home to me, and honestly just like life. And I am just so incredibly fucking excited to be able to bring this to my clients and community next year. So this will be closer to mid 2026. So that is not arriving just yet. It's something that I will be starting, but it won't actually be, I guess, active until mid 2026. And so the vision I have is more face-to-face offerings, as well as online, more in-person events, and even retreats. That's been something that's been on my vision board for a while. And I feel like breathwork will just be a beautiful like addition to all of my other modalities and just complement them so beautifully. Like, who do you know that is a qualified personal trainer, fitness coach, nutrition coach, weight loss coach, mindset and self-development coach, NLP practitioner, matrix therapies practitioner, soon to be an ICF accredited coach, a psychic, healer, medium, and a breathwork facilitator? Like, speak about holistic health and healing, right? I just cannot fucking wait for what's to come. And I'm so excited for this next evolution of my business, and honestly, like not even just business, like also personally as well, like living a spirit-led life. And like I've been doing, like this year, I've been doing a lot of inner healing work and also shadow work, and like the internal work and shifts are compounding. And I truly feel like I'm just on the edge of a huge quantum leap. And something else that I'll add as well to this is how much doing this like psychic traineeship, like this container has complemented my own healing work and journey like so much. Like in class every week, I'm also like not only practicing on others, you know, other people in the class are also practicing on me. Like I'm a client for others practicing, right? So every week I've literally gotten readings and healings, like for the last like almost like 20 weeks. And like, it's been incredible. And like, that's really complemented, I think is the word that I'm after. It's really complemented my own healing journey, which is why I'm so excited to blend it into the mindset and self-development work that I do with clients. And I guess as a psychic and a healer, I'm also my own healer too. Like I get to use it for my own growth and to connect with spirit for my own personal journey, not only in business as well, which is so awesome. And I have just been loving it so much. I'm so excited to finally let you guys in on the news. And that is really all of the announcement I have for you today and for today's episode. I feel like it's been pretty jam-packed with a lot of news, but I would actually love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. If you feel like what I'm stepping into in 2026 and beyond, like it interests you, maybe it sparks curiosity or it excites you, like please send me a DM. I want to hear from you. And I feel like we're just getting started and I just cannot wait for what's to come. Like I'm so excited. So yeah, if this episode resonated with you, if you're like, oh, I am really curious about that, or you're like, yes, yeah, send me a DM. I want to hear from you. Something else I'll actually add is that there is going to be a podcast name change coming. Because the Gym and Tonic podcast just doesn't feel aligned like it once did. So I did actually put a poll up on my social media. It was a few weeks ago now. And thank you to everyone who voted and everyone who gave feedback. I am still deciding on this So for now, just watch this space. But I just wanted to add that in, that there will be a name change. We're going to be transitioning away from the Gym and Tonic podcast into something that feels more aligned for the holistic health and healing space, which, really combines like all of the elements, like, health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, self-development, breath work, meditation, spirituality, like all of those things intertwined. Like that is really the space that I am stepping into in 2026 and beyond. So yeah, as always, make sure you are following the podcast so you don't miss an episode. I would love for you to also send this to a friend who's maybe a little bit spiritually curious. I would also even be so grateful if you were to share, whether it's this episode or another episode that really landed for you, to share it to your socials on, to your stories, on socials, and to tag me, or even to leave a review on the podcast, because it'll help this podcast get into even more ears and create an even deeper impact. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one and hopefully see you in my inbox. Bye for now, beautiful souls.